All right, music fans, welcome back to the Real Music Observer. I'm Dave, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you, me. Hey, I gotta do this video about Steve Perry, and it's not gonna have content regarding Steve's current situation. Is he in hiding? Is his album gonna come out? How many kids does he have? How many grandkids does he have? And look, my interest in Steve Perry kind of stops at the point where I don't think the guy is coming back at this point. I don't. And again, a lot of you didn't like my last video. You wanted more specifics. You wanted to know who the source was, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going there anymore. It's the drama and the interest and so forth, even though people watch these videos, and I'm grateful for that, it's become a little bizarre and a little bit sort of an surreal kind of thing where people are now petitioning. There's a petition circulating demanding that Steve release his album. And Steve's going to get it and just say, okay, we got 1 million signatures, so this album is coming out. He's been his own man, and he's done what he's wanted to do his entire career, okay? And I want to move on. I want to get off this topic, much like when I was talking about Neil Sean and his Twitter account almost every day and what was happening over there, and I became very involved with that to a point where I got to tell you, it was just, at a certain point, it was just not worth talking about anymore because of some of the things that were happening to me and my family with regards to just making observations, which is what I do. I put out a video about Robin Trower, who I think is an amazing guitar player. Like 98 views. I mean, do people want to know about music, or they just want gossip and dirt? Because I understand we're living in a very sensational culture where people like the dirt and they like the gossip, but I have to move on from that. I'm a music guy. I like music. I listen to music pretty much all day long. I annoy people because I've got to have music on. I have a little part-time job where I've integrated music into the job, and people expect me to play music. In my car, I'm listening to either stuff that I've heard on the internet or stuff I've downloaded, or it's just, this is what it's about. And this whole fascination with the life and persona of Steve Perry, at a certain point, is no longer appealing to me. And here's why. Because I have other interests. I have a ton of other interests. I would rather right now focus on helping the guys in Northeast Ohio, who I appreciate very much. They're called Escape, and there's a t-shirt for you. And if you like Journey music played as a team, not just focusing on the lead singer, who is fantastic, but played like you remember, then you should check them out. And I've told you this before. Some people say, don't promote tribute bands, just shut up and talk about when Steve Perry's album is going to come out. The other thing is, when I have a source, okay, and my source was not happy with my last video, more or less because they just want to stay as, you know, like low profile. They've been gracious enough to give me some information. But it's typically between myself and them. When I came out with that last video, I kind of went over that line a little bit. And the reason I did that was because there are a lot of people that just have the wrong idea about what happened in this situation. In fact, when I said on Twitter, what did I say? I said that every accommodation was made to help Steve Perry, and someone, I think fairly important in the conversation, actually liked that tweet, meaning that they were more or less confirming that that was a fact. And I'm still getting, well, back in, on Raised on Radio, this was happening. And that, I mean, folks, we are almost 30 years removed from that era. It's scary to think about. And Steve Perry is an old guy right now. He's not ancient, but he's getting up there, and you may say, well, Sammy Hagar just turned 70, and, Robin Trower, the guy I did the video on, he's 72 and so forth. But my guess is that either Perry loves the fact that we're just all talking about him and he's got to do absolutely nothing to get that amount of attention, or he just doesn't care. And I think it's the second of the two. I think he's got his life. He's doing what he wants to do. He's enjoying it without all of the drama and the turmoil. And that's it. There's nothing really that scientific about this. There's nothing really complicated about it. He's a private man. He's his own man. And he's more or less just doing what he wants to do. And as far as all the speculators and everybody else who's just like trying to unearth rocks or contradict things that I say, look, the things I say, this is an opinion-based channel. I've done speculation. I've done opinion. I've basically just put two and two together and said this is what I think is going to happen. And I've been wrong, certainly, but at other times I've been right on. And as far as speculating on the past and what that means to the future of Steve Perry, who knows? Who cares at this point? I mean, if you care that much... Look, Dean Castronovo and Revolution Saints just came out with a Journey-like album. Journey Whitesnake kind of sounding album. Go get it. Go buy it. Go support new music. You can still have your Journey catalog in your CDs and listen to them as much as you want. But life has to start to move on for at least the folks that are true music fans. Look, I'm not saying you're not a true music fan, by the way, if you like Steve Perry and that's all you like, because there are those people. He just set a bar and a standard that is hard to live up to. But I think you have to realize, though, again, that he's done. If he's not done, whatever he does do in the future, it's not going to compare with the past. And this will be my last video on Steve Perry, unless he makes a public appearance or he does an interview or he gives a solid statement about his future, and then I'll report on it. But I'm just getting beat up by all kinds of people who they're just obsessed with details and facts and things that they know, because they sit up and they just watch old interviews and they watch, he said this and he said that, and I'm like, okay, but it's 2017 now, I've said things a year ago that don't hold water now. So, all right, well, that's the video. Basically, I'm not blacking out Steve Perry as far as conversation and information, but I got to move on. Dean Castronovo and Revolution Saints, I'd rather talk about them. I'd rather talk about Escape Music, who I'm partnering with, helping them out, promoting music that is relevant to the kind of stuff that we all grew up listening to. So there you go. Talk to you soon.